Sup Shredders, my name is Logan, aka Spiderhands, and welcome to an ELIEZ3R, where today we got ourselves a track from an act named ELIEZ3R, titled Windows. And if we switch over to here, I hope I'm pronouncing ELIEZ3R correctly here. This is the official lyric video for it on YouTube, and we're going to listen through it from start till finish. And we're going to hear what we think. Let's do it, let's go. What have we got? Oh, I like that response in the low end, dude.
Lord, I'm tired. I need a change. 'Cause I've been praying, praying and praying, but the silence remains. Is there really someone? Or am I going insane?
Great vocal texture as well.
It's my fate to live my days in these chains.
Like it suits the synths really well.
Do you see me through the windows of my soul? Can't you see that everything in my life is out of control? I'm broken and weary and I just need to rest. Does it feel like it's all in my head? It just feel like it's all in my head. Yeah.
I mean, the sound design is very good. I like the coordination of that synth over the top. Great distortion on those kicks as well.
I've been here the whole time. I give you answers, answers and answers, but you always decline. I wish you could hear me, and know my love hasn't changed. I'll take those thoughts out your head and I'll break you out of those chains. I see you through the windows of your soul. I see that
I mean, it's just the sound design is tremendous,
seems out of control.
but the lyrics are accessible as well.
You're broken and weary and I will give you rest. I know you think that it's all in your head, but let me tell you it's not in your head. Yeah. I see you through the window of your soul. I see that everything in your life seems out of control. Broken and weary and I will give you rest. I know you think that it's all in your head, but let me tell you it's not in your head.
Nice resolution to the major there at the end as well. You know, this is a very nice track. I mean, it's not great that they're suffering through what they're going through, but it's nice to have the differences and the perspective and the kind of confirmation at the end of that, of what it actually is, you know, the reality of it. We're going to talk about it more in the conclusion. Because welcome to the conclusion of my review of this track from an act named ELIEZ3R titled Windows. In this section, I'm going to provide an overall song analysis of everything from lyrics and vocals all the way through to studio production, as well as any applicable constructive critique, and then finally my general thoughts from a listener's perspective. But before we go any further, what do we think this track is about? I think what this song is about is someone asking like a higher power that's looking through the windows, metaphorically or literally, you know, like can you see what I'm going through, what I'm suffering through, you know, like things just, I'm so broken and weary, you know, like, well, why is this happening? What is this? And as we go through the piece, you get the alternate perspective of that, you know, that individual that's got like high power going, no, you are going through that. I can see what's going on. It's not just you. It's not just in your head. It is hard. And so I think that that's not something you come across very often in songs. Usually it's just one perspective as opposed to two. I kind of like that loop and that call and response across the length of the track. So I think it was nice to simply have subject matter that people will kind of relate to. I know that seems like it should be a given, but it is not. And when you have different perspectives, it opens it up to a wider audience, I feel. So overall, I think this is quite well worded. The language is sort of like easy to understand and accessible. You know, there's nothing that's going to confuse people. You know, to live my days in these chains is very sort of vivid imagery, not just with the video, but also just you can imagine that, you know. Again, I mean, I can relate to it. You know, like I think it's, you know, asking questions, is there someone? Like these are all good things to include within a track. So I think moving on from what what, you know, the song is about, I think that we need to talk about the vocals and the expression from the singer throughout this, whether it's the main lines or the additional harmonized takes there, is one of someone that is trying to be assertive in their communication whilst also sounding like they've been raked across the coals, so to speak. There's this very sort of gentle, caring measure to a lot of this, where we sound like we're calling out, but it's not done in a way where we're aggressive or frustrated with the person we're trying to talk to either way. It's done in a way where it's trying to have more of a conversation or to affirm things. The note choices that we have are good. We follow neatly within the key signature and harmonies present, but I like that we also, just the expression is on point. And it's all the different vocal textures and timbres, all the synthesized parts, the bit of tuning we have, the compression, the reverbs, the production bits and flares there, and the different positions of things in the stereo field, left and right sides of the headphones that really elevate things as well. So we're comfortable on the hidden chest voice there. We don't over-articulate, though I don't think the song needed it. There was enough going on instrumentally to lift it up. Outside of that, it's just a really comfortable vocal performance is the main focal point. You know, and if we move on from just, again, a really effective vocal performance, we have the track at 3 minutes 45, which I feel is very well fleshed out. There's absolutely no filler, a mixture of different verses and choruses there, and lots of different ingredients within the accompaniment to lift it up and push it forward. It's quite a slow, tender track, but it's got these wonderful, almost early 2010s EDM-ish elements there that just really sort of resonate with me partially because that's kind of the music that I'm into, if I'm honest. But I just like there was an authentic message with this kind of music, because sometimes it can seem a little bit phoned in depending on how we word it. But just the sound design initially with all the different basses and the synth pads and the vocal runs as like a filtered sing. We're not just singing words, we're also singing melodies. It's just nice to have things nice and wide in the stereo field with like the buzzy basses there playing the root notes not overcomplicating the harmony, but just the way things writhe and wriggle as well there, but not in a way that's unpleasant or unattractive. It's just like the music is alive, so to speak. We have these little shimmery tick-tocky like parts like around the 45-second mark there that flutter between and kind of wake you up a little bit. It's in the same way that in the drop it kind of goes, you know, like it kind of scatters over top. The automation of the panning of those components. The sound design is a lot of what makes this track special, how things are portrayed to you. It's not just the notes, you know, because another situation, for example, with the 107 part where you have the 808 so bombastic and these kind of very kind of glitchy, almost sort of string buzzy sounds there with the vocals underneath. Just everything's been micromanaged, but in a way that improves it. You know, in that drop section that I mentioned at 117, you have these interesting drum pads. We have kicks and snares and these 16th triplet sort of hi-hats and everything like that. But also the drums are minimalist and not there all the time. When we need them to be, they pump and they sidechain there and they interact with the bass in a way that seems, you know, contemporary. But we also filter such as around the 153 mark to make the drums a bit more sort of like low-key. We staircase across the track a little bit, and there's like clock ticking such as around 230 as well, so we have elements of follow that become a rhythmic device, as well as like rises around the 240 mark to sort of bring things up, and that's probably happened earlier than that as well. It's just going through this piece and appreciating all the different tonal shifts, you know, to contrast that with around 325 where things just drop off almost like instantly, not instantly, but just like there's a massive contrast in regards to the intensity of it. It's the way the keys are so low key there and moderated there to be a gentle kind of reminder that the sky has gone blue, and that goes in line with the video itself. And there are these fun harmonies with the vocals, such as going back to the 235 section where we make them almost like a paddish instrument by proxy of that. And there's lots of different rhythms within the piece, like great use of quarters, eighths, and sixteenths. 137 has these fun sort of synth key arpeggiators there that highlight the chords within the harmony there, outside of the basses and drums and lead melodies and such, but in a way where it presents it differently to some of the more static pads or the little flutters of synth sequences we had before. It's just very kind of fun. It's just a really fun song. The production is very good. I do like how it's positioned. I like the use of unconventional chords. I mean, so thematically, let's just talk about that actually. I think it's major key oriented, but you really get to that feeling at the end. There's like a minor leaning and sort of overall tension and drama and suspense to the piece with the subject matter, but also with the way that the chords are presented. And also the texture issues a sense of it being kind of chaosy and kind of glitchy. But when we resolve on that chord at the end, that major there with the calm serenity of it, it's almost like we went through the storm to get to the end. And there's like a parallel major or minor there as well to kind of lead you into it, a bit of chromaticism in there that just shows a bit of compositional sophistication there, which is always appreciated. You know, like up until then, quite diatonic then, but just playing around a little bit with expectations. Different chord progressions and bass lines throughout the piece, definitively different in interpretations of elements as we go through it. Ultimately very satisfying, well produced. I don't think there's a note out of place. And the studio recording, mixing and mastering, like from post perspective, I like all the different ways that the vocals are put forward there. There's lots of interesting decisions made again with the tuning and the synthesis of it, like how they kind of make them sort of fit more into the electronic layers, made them sort of like contemporary, sort of like pop or hip hop. And like it just follows on from the synth pads and sequences and leads and the keys and the rises and the foley and the bass and the drums and everything else, and they all got present there. Things are spread around the stereo field really neatly, as well as in the frequency spectrum. There's no weird resonant frequencies. If there are slight ones, to be fair, it's more deliberate. Like there's nothing that's uncomfortable or sort of like confusing or dissonant without purpose. There's dynamic range, but there is also side chaining there, a bit of pumping, and it's nice and loud as like an electronic track bus compression limiting is handled. Like no applicable constructive critique, and from a final general listener perspective, it was just a pleasure to listen through this. I've got no notes. I think that they've got something really special here, and I kind of feel spoiled as a reviewer because of the attention to detail put into the finer elements of it. I wish them all the best of luck in their future musical endeavors. Because thank you for watching my review of this track from an ex named ELIEZ3R. It's out of Windows. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please go show us some love via the various social medias and the YouTube page, and stay cool and stay safe, and please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as you need to help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. And I'll catch you in the next SB Reacts. Spiderhands out.